Hi, this is Kim. Is anybody out there? Let me know that you're here. I'm glad that you've came to join me today. Hey, welcome, Rebecca. I see you there with a thumbs up. You must be able to see me and hear me. Aw, hi, Terry. We're glad you're here. Joanna, welcome. Thanks for hopping on early. Thanks, guys, for sending me the love. I can use it this morning. I'm a little nervous, so your thumbs up and your hearts are making me feel comfortable. Thank you. Hi, Joe. Hi, Dietrich. Hi, Diane. Welcome. This is the piece. I'm Coach Kim Specker coming to you from Overland Park, Kansas, a suburb of Kansas City. Yeah. This is fun. This is my first Facebook Live event, so it's kind of a learning experience and an opportunity to share. And I'm grateful that each of you have chosen to join me today. Yeah, so I would welcome any of you to write a comment. I would love to know what city you guys are calling from or what country you might be logging in from. It'd be exciting to know how far-reaching this is. Yeah, we have a few minutes. I was invited to share Passing the Peace by Michael Sullivan, the CEO of Life Model Works, and he is putting together a great campaign to share peace around the globe and to do our part to um, bring greater well-being to our earth in the coming days. Yeah. So it looks like we have 16 on with us. I don't know who some of you are. I'm going to scroll down and see who's joined us while I've been chatting here. And um, hi, Jen. Glad that you're here. There's Michael. He's joined us. And Amy's here. Hi, Amy. You're in Denver. That's right. We've got somebody here from Laguna Woods Village in Orange County. Anybody here from the East Coast? We've got Dietrich from Calgary. All right. So this is kind of fun to have people joining in like this and ready to share some space together, quieting our brains. Will be calming down together here in a bit. Any questions or anything from any of you while I have some time to answer them? We're waiting for others to join in. I've been told I was supposed to be funny when I did things like this to help pass the time, but I'm afraid my jokes might backfire on me. Then I would be embarrassed. So I'm just going to be myself and be patient as people log on. Yeah, well, I see here it is 1 o'clock, and I'm just going to start. I'll tell you a little about who I am. Currently, I'm a coach, and I have my own company called Rare Transformation, and we help individuals and companies improve their relationships and also improve their conversational skills. We help them, actually, we've just launched into building resilience and expanding capacity. Um, just even launched that before we've had this COVID experience that we're all participating in right now. So it just feels like it's timely for the work I'm doing to be able to even share this with you all. Uh, what I've learned as I've been coaching over the last 12 years is when people are in fear, uh, they're not experiencing peace. They're not able to be their natural self or their normal self. And it brings limitations. And if our relationships are limited, more than likely we're not experiencing the full amount of joy we can from others. What I have found interesting as I've been studying the concepts of the life model works people over the last 8 years is the definition of joy is when someone is glad could be to be with me, I can feel joy in that. And joy is the positive emotion that we can only feel while in relationship. We can feel pleasure, we can feel happiness in doing other things, but true joy comes from being in relationship. And so today, I hope that as we do this passing the peace exercise, we will have greater capacity and increased peace so that we can feel the joy of those who will be in our home this weekend or possibly on Zoom calls or interacting in whatever virtual modality we are as we're all under the stay-at-home order. This exercise has really helped my husband and I over the years to be able to calm and be present for one another when we're disrupted or we're feeling great amounts of stress. And so I can authentically say that I know it works for me, but over the last few weeks, I've been able to share it with some teams virtually that I've been coaching. And as I've shared it with the teams, what I've realized is the overwhelm that many people in the marketplace are in because of the responsibility. The last thing they're thinking about is peace or joy. And so when they get to pause and be with me and practice this exercise, I've watched tremendous difference taking place in their countenance, their posture, and the feedback I've received is tremendous. So I hope today that you'll be aware of what you're experiencing before we start and then what you'll experience after. I would like to share with you a question, and I'd like for you to send me some feedback. But since we've been going through the tension of this COVID-19 experience, I would like to know what you have noticed has been challenging you from getting to peace. And if you could just type that in the box and let me see, where is your challenge coming from? Maybe another way to say that question is, what's keeping you from peace? Well, I know when I don't have peace, I'm often disengaged, I'm non-relational, and more than likely, I'm not myself. And usually I end up hurting somebody, and I don't like that. So when I'm missing peace, I see it in behaviors that aren't normally me. So when I begin to experience that, I become aware of I need some help, I need to take a pause and do some intentional exercises whether it be the gratitude experiences or what we're going to do today in passing the peace. I'd like to let you know while we're receiving the feedback of what withholds your peace or what prompts your lack of peace. On the Life Model website, lifemodel.org, they're going to provide you with a peace app that you will have this template. If you would download that app and you could have it wherever you go, you can look at that app. You could also order a resource called Passing the Peace, written by Dr. James Wilder. And that Passing the Peace tool is also a good resource to share with others if they're going to the mission field, maybe they're working with larger groups. You could learn more about how to pass the peace in large groups. So what I would like to do is just start sharing the exercise with you now, I think. In this exercise, when I'm getting ready to share it with others, I begin what I call this attunement process, or I'm present and I'm wanting to know where their distress is coming from or their agitation. If I'm doing it for myself, I probably know that, but if I were going to share this with others, I would want to hold space for them and be listening and be authentically compassionate and empathetic. And that requires us to be able to do that. So sometimes we might not be able to pass the peace if we're highly dysregulated or not able to be our best self. So the first responsibility we have before we share it is to make sure that we are experiencing peace. And so that's what we're going to do today. And I would like to ask you and guide you in, first step is to calm or to quiet so that we can begin to feel some relaxation in our body. And if you would maybe move to the edge of your chair if you could, and ground both of your feet on the floor so that you can feel the stability beneath you. And then you can kind of roll your shoulders back, just roll them a couple of times, and then set in a straight posture. You can't see it, but my hands happen to be in an open position, rested on the top of my thighs. If that feels too uncertain to have your hands open, feel free to lay them face down on the top of your thighs so that you could feel the strength and the foundation of being grounded. And now I'm going to ask you, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes. And we're going to start taking some deep breaths. Because maybe if you're disrupted and you're not feeling peace, there's a high level of negative neurochemistry going on in you, and we get rid of that. And so we're going to take some deep breaths, and I'm going to share a process with you called box breathing, and it goes like this. You inhale for 4, and you hold for 4. You exhale for 4, and you hold for 4. And I'll start you on the first one, but I'd like for you to do a total of 4 box breaths. So here we go. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. And continue on your own. And hold. Okay. And now we'll move into the process. I'm going to give you some guided questions here in a bit. But what I'd like you to know is when I'm sharing this in the work that I do with clients, not always do they have the same faith background, or they might not have the same belief system. So I give them a chance to choose the language that's comfortable for them, for their who they believe in their sovereign power. So some might refer to God, some refer to peace or light or creator. And so today I'm going to choose to use God as I ask these questions, but know that you could insert the name you are familiar with as we go through this, okay? So our first question, after we've taken our deep breaths and we're relaxed, is, and your eyes are still closed, I'd like for you to think about a memory of a time you were experiencing a great amount of peace or possibly a great amount of thankfulness. So just let any thought come to you that of a time you've had peacefulness or a great amount of thankfulness. And as you've found that memory, go ahead and think about and recall what you might have smelled or sensed, maybe who was there with you. What did that room look like, or the place you were look like? And there might be those of you out there who aren't able to think of something to be grateful for, so I'm just going to give some prompters. Maybe think of a time that you went on vacation, you had a yummy meal, or an extra good cup of coffee. What was that like for you? And now that you've connected with that memory, you're in it and you're experiencing it, I'm going to ask you to open up your heart and see if you sense God's presence with you in that memory. Just scan the environment around you and see. And now I'm wondering, what do you sense that God might want you to know today in that memory? Do you have a sense that God is with you? Do you sense that He might be glad to be with you today? Maybe you need to take a deep breath. That's okay. Notice, what does it feel like in your heart or your body right now as you could have sensed God's presence in the midst of a beautiful memory? So if you can, if you have a pencil and paper there, begin to notice and write down what thoughts are coming to mind right now. Notice what your body is feeling. Notice what your heart is saying. And then the final step of this exercise would be for you to be able to share your story in a few sentences. Share what your body felt like before you started this call and had the experience. Maybe what some of the thoughts were while you were in the positive memory. And then now, what does your body feel like after the experience? And that becomes your passing the peace story. And so when you encounter different individuals who might be stressed or not acting like themselves, you could begin to share your passing the peace story and what a difference it made to pause and take a few minutes for yourself to really experience what peace feels like. And then you could begin to invite your friend or your family member you like to share in this exercise with me, and you could easily pass on what I just gave you. And so thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you and just hear how this encounter worked for you. You can reach me at kim.specker@gmail.com if you'd like to reach out, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions or celebrate with you and receive joy from you by you sharing your story. Thanks for helping us propagate peace around the world, and may it reach far-reaching so that we'll see more joy and happiness around us. Take care.